Hello, everybody. So we're back here to our concurrent sessions today, last day at BBELT. And today it is my pleasure to introduce Susan Hillyard with her talk, Teach Creativity to Empower the 21st Century Learner. And I would like to make a quick introduction of her. Susan has a bachelor's degree in education from Warwick University in the UK. She's a teacher, head of department, teacher trainer, conference speaker, workshop facilitator, materials writer, researcher, online tutor, TIE consultant for the performance, and webinar presenter. Presently, she is founder and director of Shelter, Susan Hilliard's English Language Teachers Academy, and a freelance consultant on Emmy for the British Council in China. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Susan Hillyard.
Hello, everybody. I'm very thrilled to be here and to be able to talk to you all about teaching creatively to empower your students. And I'd like to thank the British Council Mexico for inviting me and for introducing me to this completely new StreamYard, which I have never used before. So I hope it's going to go successfully. I'm sure with my moderators helping me backstage, it will be fine. So I'm going to have to change some of my PowerPoint around and some of my ideas, so please bear with me. So, teach creatively to empower the 21st century learner. I was going to start off with an exercise where I make statements and you come up to your camera and you say, "That's me," or you say, "Not me," and you disappear from the camera. But as I can't see you, I can't do it in that kind of way. But I'll just give you a demonstration. So I might say, for example, I hope you can all see me and hear me. I might say, for example, "You love cats." So if you love cats, you go, "That's me." And if you don't love cats, you go, "Not me." So you disappear completely from your camera. So you can do this with your students online, or you can do it in the classroom by having them do something different. So instead of going up to the camera, for example, they can say, "That's me," or they can say, "No, that's not me." So it can work in the classroom or on camera. And I'd like to start off, having done that little creative exercise with you. I hope you felt empowered if you were doing it with me, by giving you my relevant experience. As my moderator said, I've been teaching for a very long time. In fact, I'm going to be celebrating this year because this is my 50th year in teaching. I started off as a teacher in the UK, having gone to Warwick University. I was a teacher of kindergarten, primary, secondary, and adults in the UK, and then in Singapore, then in Saudi Arabia, then in Spain, and now in Argentina. I was born in Liverpool, but I'm now based in Argentina. I've been head of the English department at the Manarat International School, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, head of secondary at the Aloha International School in Marbella, Spain, head of secondary in 3 bilingual schools in Buenos Aires. And when I say head, I don't mean the kind of head who sits in the office and tells everybody what to do. I mean a teaching head. So my teachers always saw me in the classroom, struggling in the way they struggle. So I was completely honest with them when I was expecting them to do things, because I had to show them physically, practically, how to do it. I then became the director of the ESARP Teachers Center here in Buenos Aires from 1992 to 1998. And I designed and employed experts and teacher trainers to train the teachers from kindergarten to top secondary in both English and Spanish. I was then an online designer and tutor for the module Language and Globalization in the MA in ELT at the New School, New York, and also at La Sabana University in Bogota, Colombia. I've trained 20 teachers of English to teach English to special needs students in the Ministry of Education, Buenos Aires. We had 500 students, so they were all teaching creatively. And I'm also an official trainer for the British Council. So you can see that my experience has gone all over the world, and I have also trained teachers in 12 other countries. So I've had a lot of experience of different cultures, different ages, different experiences, and different abilities, different levels. And I can promise you that creativity works. I've got questions for you today, and I don't promise to answer them, but I believe in the Socratic method of asking questions, and that's how we learn. So, is the 21st century student really a different breed of students? Is the challenge for us only to do with the exponential rate of development in new technologies? Or does it run much deeper? What new language and personal skills will students need? What is creativity in ELT? And how can creativity empower our students? So let's have a look. I'm going to ask you all to stand up and show me with your body, with your facial expressions, with your limbs, even with your voices, if I could have you turn the microphones on, because that was the aim of it. But I'd like you to just stand up and show me how you feel. I'm going to do it as well. Yahoo! That's how I feel, because I'm so excited to be here, hoping that many more teachers will become much more creative. This whole session, as all of my sessions are, is dedicated to Sir Ken Robinson. It's in his memory. He was my boyfriend in Liverpool many, many years ago, and I met him online through his TED Talks. And he granted us the honor of coming to our final Zoom lesson when I was teaching English through drama. And he came and spoke to all my students. There were many more people there. You can only see the first page. But he is the man that perhaps I have learned most from. He said, human intelligence is richer and more dynamic than we have been led to believe by formal academic education. And he was mostly referring to our natural creativity and how we need to bring creativity into the classroom in all subjects, not just in English language teaching, not just in English, not just in maths, in everything. And he was very prolific in his work. And he basically did a TED Talk in 2006, which was entitled, Do Schools Kill Creativity? And it's something that I had always thought, and I had always seen, in fact, keeping students seated in straight lines, looking at each other's backs, is not what I call an environment for students to learn in. So this is how I have always tried to change my teaching, so that we work with the imagination, we work with creativity, and we have our students moving naturally as they were born to move. If you think about little children, they do role play the whole time. They learn through creativity. They learn through being somebody else. They are naturally creative and they use their imaginations all the time. But why is it important to talk about this? Is it a cliche now? Have we been talking about teaching learners in the 21st century for an awfully long time? And have we got anywhere? Is it important? So what I'd like you to do is to look at the following collage of images, and I'd like you to choose one which appeals to you. And then I had said, by raising your hand or jotting down notes in the chat box, say why it appeals. So I think my moderator is going to read out to me anything that you happen to put in the chat box. So here is your collage coming up. Choose just one picture and then write in the chat box why it appeals to you. What message is in there for you?
Okay, everyone, so feel free to send your comments. No comments yet, Susan, so I don't know if you want to continue, but, well, people are sending other messages, but...
Okay. If you can write in the chat box, please, which picture, which image appeals to you and why? What does it say to you? And why does it say something to you? You will all choose different ones, but that's fine. So if we have any, feel free to interrupt.
Sorry, some comments are coming. Leonor Marin says, change. Diana Castañón, the tree. Frankie Marquez, picture 14, work. Guadalupe Chavez, diversity. And they are not giving reasons actually of their choices, but those are the comments coming. The fish tank, Kelly Hernandez. There's one. The Briseida Diaz says the number one because I have a lot of things in my mind. Okay.
Lovely. Okay,
Group work, the fish jumping to another fish bowl, but just people are just selecting their picture, but no many comments at all. So I don't know if you want to continue.
Fine, I'll continue.
Go on.
I think it's important that we do always reflect and we do always think, and we always have lots of ideas in our minds, as Mr. Diaz said. And I think that's really important for us to continue reflecting for the whole of our career. So what do the students of the 21st century need? This is probably the best model I've found. And you can go onto internet and just search for the title of it, which is at the bottom of the screen, Partnership for 21st Century Skills, Framework for 21st Century Learning. And I'm not going to go through all of this with you because it's a very, very extensive document. It's brilliant. It's the best one I've found. And you can access it anytime you like. I'm just going to be looking at the orange bridge, the orange rainbow at the top of the bridge, which states learning and innovation skills, the 4 C's. So what are the 4 C's? Critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. I could do something on all of them, but today I'm just going to concentrate on the 4th C, which is creativity. And as you know, Silvana this morning, Richardson, talked a lot about teachers collaborating, but we also need to teach our students to collaborate. So, creativity. We have gone through an evolution of educational ages, and this is related to the 4 C's. We've gone from the agricultural age, through the industrial age, through the information age, and now, essentially, we are in the conceptual age. And many, many books have been written about this and how the mind of our students is different. It has been changed. It has evolved according to the times. And it's very important that we remember this And also, in a few moments, I'm going to be showing you a very, very short video of Sir Ken Robinson talking about how he thinks our educational lives are cyclical and how we need to think about the agricultural age and relate that as a metaphor to teaching. I got very interested in this site, which is called Battling for the Soul of Education, some years ago. And basically they say that students of today know that they were born to learn and that they know they weren't born to be taught. And this is a quote from a teenage girl, a screen age girl if you like, who said, "You treat education like a TV dinner. You tell us to go to the freezer, pull out a box, read the instructions carefully. And if we followed the instructions carefully, we'll get full marks. But that's so boring. At the moment, we are being taught to fit into your world rather than shape our world." And this is what I want for English language teachers, that we help our students learn to shape their own future, because that's where they are going. It is not our future, it is their future. A lot of teachers tell me that their students are bored, they're not motivated, they don't want to do anything, they don't want to do their homework, they're fed up of Zoom classes. And I see that students do a lot of things outside the confining walls of the classroom. So would you please write in the chat box as quickly as you can, what do they do? What do your students do outside the confining walls of the classroom? What do they do in the evenings? What do they do at weekends? If you could write in the chat box and my darling moderator could tell me. Is anybody writing anything?
Yeah, we're waiting for their comments. So take it easy, all right? Because it takes time. I think they are thinking and analyzing what they are going to answer, right?
Okay.
So let's take some seconds, okay, Susan?
Okay, no problem.
All right. Well, some people are commenting now. Play video games, says Leonor Marin. They learn and play. Dance classes, sports. Ashin Batando says they live. Work, do sports, take language classes. Oh, you see, comments are coming and coming. They play video games and sports. Socialize, and socialize through the different activities. That's what Xiomara Castillo says.
Great.
They take English classes, Diana Castañón, that's what she says. And basically, they are focusing on playing video games, the sports, and these kind of interactions they do. All right?
Great.
Make friends.
Thank you, Leonor, who is a student of mine from many, many years ago, for being the first person to write. Thank you, Leonor. Okay. I wonder if these are some of the things that you wrote. I know that they are.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, many comments are coming now, all right? Like work, play video games. They spend time with their family. That's what Kelly Hernandez says. Watching Netflix, which is something online now and pretty on fashion, right? Practice sports, French classes, handcrafts classes. That's something I find interesting, right? Study in the music school, even Mar Peraza says. And well, those are basically the comments.
Okay, that's great. That's fantastic. Because now we can recognize that if they are not being instructed, if they are not being taught what we want them to learn, they do have motivation, they do want to do it, and they concentrate, and they want to be good at the things that they are motivated to do. So I think we should always remember that every student is different and every student needs to have white time, special time for developing their creativity and to be in their element, doing what they really like doing. So we become facilitators rather than instructors. So do you find this image creative? I wonder if you do. I wonder if you could have thought of it. So asking you now, what is creativity and how can it empower language learners? How does creativity fit into teaching the English language? Well, this is what we're going to explore. Is this nonsense or is it creativity? It's a poem. It was midnight in November, one October last July. The moon was shining brightly and the sun was in the sky. The flowers were gently singing and the birds were in full bloom when I went up to the cellar to sweep the attic room. I wonder if you think it's nonsense or creativity or something completely different. Please jot your notes in the chat box and I'll carry on and we'll have what you've written in a few moments when you've had time to write. Bronowski said, every animal leaves traces of what it was. Man alone leaves traces of what he created. And Einstein said, and I think most of you know this quotation, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. And now I'm going to give you a problem. Do we have anything written in the chat box, please?
Well, just comments and stuff from the last activity you were asking for.
Yeah,
so
creativity or
exactly.
nonsense.
Yeah, creative. Oh, well, now I can see that creative, opposites, different. It is life, creativity. But I can see any other more comments.
Okay, fine. I always think it's interesting to look at creativity and see how far it can go before it just becomes nonsense. And I think that's a very interesting exercise to do ourselves and also to do with students. Now, if you can see me, and I think you can, I'd like you to take a piece of paper like this, and I would like you to draw on it 9 dots. So you've got 9 dots on your piece of paper, like I have on the screen. And I would like you to get your creative juices going, and I would like you to, without taking your pen off the paper, join the dots by using only 4 straight lines without going over any dot twice. So you can only use 4 straight lines and you can't put your pen on the paper and take it off the paper and join again. You have to keep your pen on the paper. Can everybody try it for me, please? If I could see you, it would be much better because I could see if you were all working. This is like having cameras off. So when you are done, when you are finished, please just write in the chat box, done, so I know you've had long enough to try. And if anybody's got an answer, I was going to ask you to hold it up to the camera so we could all see it. But as we haven't got the cameras on, I'm going to have to tell you the answer. Is there anybody who isn't ready yet? Have you all had a try? Okay. Here is the answer. Can you see that it looks a bit like a kite? Looks a bit like a kite. And what I would like you to write in the chat box now, please, is How did you start trying to solve this problem? Where did you put your pen first? Could you write in the chat box, please? Where did you put your pen first? I've asked this question all over the world.
Okay, let's see what they are answering, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Susan, wait a minute. Okay, well, Stephen Longley says that he has seen this before and no spoilers at all.
Okay,
Well,
Stephen.
some of the people got lost maybe because of their connection, because they wanted you to repeat the instruction, but I will continue reading comments, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Shumara Carrillo says, I have been asked to answer this exercise more than once, but I keep forgetting how to solve it. But it's nice. Well, some people now are giving answers about the way they started doing what you asked them to. Guadalupe Chavez says, top right dot.
Top right.
Okay. Maria del Carmen says, top left corner.
Good.
Okay. Francisco Leonardo Contreras, out the line. All right. Frankie Marquez on the top left corner.
Top left.
And Erika Gisela Corona, bottom left. She started bottom left.
Erika, you're very unusual.
Yeah. Leonor Marin, top right.
Top right. Okay. Usually people say top left, top right, or middle, the central dot. And this is how our brain works. Our brain, I cheated a little bit as well, because I did call it the box problem. So I made your brain think that it was a box. So you saw it as a box, and then you couldn't solve it, because very often, to be creative, we have to get out of the box. And in fact, I don't know if I can show you this today, but this is a box that a friend of mine gave me, and it says on it, think outside the box. And that's exactly what I've just asked you to do. Think outside the box. So instead of putting your pen on the top left button, top right button, bottom left button, as Erica did, or in the middle, you think outside, you get your flaps open, and you think, where can I put my pen first? And of course, the answer is to put it outside the box and then go through diagonally, go straight across the top or down the side, it doesn't matter really. Go outside the box again, and then come down diagonally through 2 dots and go back up to the top without going over any dot twice. So this is how I teach the students. We do lots and lots of little exercises first, which are great for English language, because you're giving instructions, they have to process the instructions, and then they have to work out problems. So it's very much related to problem solving through creativity. We can also have problem solving through critical thinking, which I also teach. In fact, in the last school where I was a teaching headmistress, we developed a thinking skills program. And we started it with the 4th year. And the rest of the school kept asking me, when are we going to do thinking skills? When are we going to do thinking skills? Because they saw it was very, very good fun and very motivating. So you can try these out next week. So what is creativity? Now, dare I ask you to write your definition in the chat box. What do you think creativity is? Can you write a definition? Or is this going to take too long in the situation we're in at the moment? Maybe I'll let you off. Maybe I'll release you and I'll tell you what my definition is for this session.
Just wait for what they are saying, okay?
Yes, okay.
Just some seconds.
Great.
Well, the first comment is by Ruby Esmeralda Ramirez, and she says, think out of the box, loved it. But let's just wait for some more comments.
Okay. Great.
Shamara Carrillo says, it is being open to the many possibilities.
Ah,
Okay. Liliana
positive.
Patricia Pedraza expressed my way of thinking about how to achieve something. Okay.
Great.
Rosalia Valero, I like the idea of creativity as our brain having fun. Veronica Angeles, I think creativity is the freedom to express what you think, feel, and believe. Okay. Some other
Nice.
people are struggling. They say a difficult word to explain. Right. Denise Torres, creativity is the act of turning new and imaginative ideas into reality. How interesting.
Oh,
I
wow.
love that one, right?
Yeah.
And some other
Wow.
comments. It is a way to do something with your own ideas by Eliana Delgadillo. Then we have Vanessa Mendoza, a form in what we can express a lot of things. And Diana Castañon, it is letting the mind free. Okay,
Ah,
so
freedom. Wow. Great. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed, all of you. If it was difficult for you, this is why. This slide shows you how very, very complex it is to have a creative genius mindset. And in fact, I'm a member of this IQ matrix, and I work a lot on trying to train my own mind and my teachers' minds to be more creative. But it is complex. I'm not pretending it isn't. However, today, the definition we're going to use is imaginative activity fashioned so as to produce outcomes that are both original and of value. So almost anything we do in creativity goes along with this definition, as long as it's not the nonsense that I was talking about before. In most cases, students will say to me, I know, but I did the same as him. And I say, no, you didn't. You can't do the same as him because you haven't got his brain. You haven't got his skills. You've got your own brain, your own thoughts, your own heart, your own soul, and your own skills. So everybody always responds in a different way. So don't ever see your efforts as being the same as somebody else's. And in that way, I motivate them to think creatively. Think back to when you were, say, 4, 5, or 6. And well, I said tell us verbally because I wanted you to have your mics on, but you haven't. So write in the chat box what you played, which you think was creative. We all play when we're little. What did you play which was creative? Which you don't play anymore, probably. Okay, I'll give you time to do that and I'll move on. If I could, maybe I can talk to my moderator. I can do this with my moderator, whose name I've forgotten. I'm so ashamed to say.
Miguel Susan, don't worry.
Yeah, Miguel, same as my husband, so I should have remembered.
So you won't forget.
I won't forget. Okay, Miguel.
Say.
So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to say, hey, you know what I love about you?
Oh, what? What, Susan? Tell me.
No, you have to tell me.
Oh my God, you want me to ask you? Oh, Susan, you want me what I love from you?
No, you have to answer my question.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
Miguel, you know what I love about you?
Susan, maybe my personality?
Yes, I love your personality, but that wasn't the thing I was thinking about.
Oh.
Miguel, you know
Yeah?
what I love about you?
Say.
Now you have to tell me something else.
Well, I don't know, Susan. I never thought of it. Maybe my eyes?
Yes, you have lovely eyes. I love your eyes. But that wasn't what I was thinking about. Miguel,
Say?
you know what I love about you?
Tell me. I don't really know.
Think of something.
Maybe my tattoos?
Ah, yeah, I love your tattoos. Some of them are so intriguing. That's not
Oh,
what I was thinking of.
so tell me now. I'm curious.
All right, I'll tell you. The thing I was thinking of, besides all those other things that I love about you, is that you're a very, very kind, helpful person for an old lady who didn't understand how to use Yardstream or StreamYard.
Oh, Susan, thank you very much. It is my job.
So
It's part of my
this,
job, actually.
this is a lovely, easy peasy exercise to do with your students where they themselves have to become creative. And it's a kind of way of affirming what they think you know about them. But as Miguel said at the beginning, he didn't know. I only met him about 3/4 of an hour ago, but he didn't know, but he had to think of some things that were good about himself. And it's a lovely, lovely exercise. So please try it when you get back to school. Okay, this is Sir Ken on teachers are like gardeners. And he's going to explain in just 2 minutes. Oh, sorry. Oh, well, anyway, I'll go on because I've gone on. Okay, one of the ways of being creative is to be fluent. Think of lots and lots of things that are blue. Can you write in the box things which are blue? Anything at all. I'm wearing blue today. I don't know if you can see. I'm wearing blue. I guess you're saying things like the sea, the sky, the Star of Bethlehem.
Right. Let's just wait for the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, Ana Cecilia Acolsi, sky, the sea, Maria del Carmen Barnechea, sorry. The sea. Ah, Maria del Carmen says, my husband's eyes.
Ah, mine too. My
Yeah, you
Miguel
see?
blue
Ana
eyes too.
Cecilia says, oh my God, comments are going really fast, but basically, um, the sky, right? Small, my coffee mug, jeans, my shoes, blueberry.
Ah, blueberries. Great one.
The sea masks. Nowadays, we are really used to wearing them, right? So most of them are blue. So I suppose masks
Absolutely.
can be in this category. My favorite color, as morph. Well, that is from my times as well. As morph. A
Okay,
cap.
fantastic.
All right.
That's okay. What we do now is we offer the students different categories. So for example, I said blue. I could say, make a list of everything that's a triangle. Or I could say, make a list of everything that's got spots on it. Or make a list of everything that is wet. So they make their lists, and the idea is to just brainstorm, get as long a list as you possibly can, and then you say, okay, now you're going to sit down and you're going to use those words in either a story or a poem. I have had fantastic results on this, and I would love to be able to show you those results, but I can't at the moment. So this is one way of getting into creativity. You must encourage your students to be very fast thinkers and to be able to change their mind quickly and become very fluent in thinking of lots of things. And then on the right-hand side, flexibility. Alter your approach to the way you see something, the way you hear something, the way you read something. And in fact, we're going to do an exercise on this, which was going to be great fun if you could put your mics on, but maybe you'll do it on your own anyway, if you will join in with me so that you can experience it. I want you to look at the words in the chart, and I want you to say the color, not the word, not the written word. So for example, the word says yellow, but the color is green. So are you all ready? Have you got your brains working? We're going to go fast, okay? I'm not promising I'll get it right every time because I don't. Okay, ready? Off you go. Green, blue, red, yellow, black, blue, blue, red, green, black, red, purple. Okay, how many of you could do it? Any comments are welcome in the chat box. Oh.
I think they are working on the activity. Do you want me to give it a try?
Ah, yes, that would be great.
But don't expect much from me, Susan. All right, I'll try to do it as fast as I can because I know this exercise and I absolutely love it. But that's what I ask my students to do, not the teacher to do, you see? But let me just give it a try. Green, blue, red, yellow, black, blue, blue, red, green, black, red, purple.
Wow, you're faster than me.
But it takes time. You see, when you ask the audience to do so, I started reading the words, but it's really difficult.
That's the whole point of it. It's great. And thank you for being such a good sport. You saved the day. And then originality. I was going to ask you all to run and get a long scarf. It can be a scarf, it could be a ball, it could be a ruler, it could be anything you've got at hand, really. And then we say, this is not a scarf, this is a Gucci, 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 la la la, la la la. Can you write in the chat box what it is, please? It's not a scarf, it's a
Okay, we are waiting for comments, okay? Because they are like maybe commenting on the previous activity. Some of the people took time to do it, you see? Okay, now answers are coming. And I think they are guessing right. It is Guadalupe, baby, Adriana Guadalupe, baby, doll, a baby, Gildardo Ruiz, a cat.
A cat. It could be a cat. My cat doesn't let me do this.
Well, some of my cats, they do, but just a little.
Okay, so what we do next, and on Zoom, we usually throw it to somebody else on the Zoom and say their name, and they catch it in their imagination, and then they use their own scarf and they make something else up. So they might say, this is not a baby, Gucci, 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 Gucci. This is a and everybody says hat, and then they throw the scarf to somebody else and they say, this is not a hat, it's a blindfold. So we can use lots and lots of recycled vocabulary or introduce vocabulary if somebody does something unusual. And then elaboration, I usually ask my students to draw 3 circles and then to add to those 3 circles by making them into something different. What I've got for you today is a wonderful painting, 2 wonderful paintings by actually a woman who paints with her feet. She has no arms, so she paints with her feet. And she has taken 2 faces. If you screw your eyes up like this and you look at the paintings, you can see that it's actually a face in each case. One is a bit more like a skull, but it's a face. And the other one is very clearly a face. And then she has elaborated and changed them into something different. So these are just ideas for your students, okay? So creativity is, this is what people think, related to IQ. No, it's not. Only found in some subjects. No, it's not. Unrelated to critical thinking. No, it's not. The opposite to logical thinking. No, it's not. only for those born with it. No, it's not. Unrealistic and impractical. No, it's not. A waste of valuable time. No, it's not. So I'm busting myths. There's lots of myths around creativity. Imagine if we hadn't had these creative minds in our history, our societies would be something completely different today. And what is empowerment? Is it different from autonomy? Is it different from agency? Toni Morrison said, I tell my students, when you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. So you give empowerment to your students by officially authorizing them or freeing them, as one of our members said before at the beginning, to do something of value and of worth. And I was going to read you the 100 languages. Have I got time, Miguel?
I think we got 10 minutes.
Oh, we have 10 minutes.
Yeah,
okay.
Just 10 minutes to finish, but you continue, okay?
The 100 languages. No way. The 100 is there. The child is made of 100. The child has 100 languages, 100 hands, 100 thoughts, 100 ways of thinking, of playing, of speaking, 100, always 100 ways of listening, of marveling, of loving, 100 joys for singing and understanding, 100 worlds to invent, 100 worlds to dream. The child has 100 languages and 100 more. But they steal 99. The school and the culture separate the head from the body. They tell the child to think without hands, to do without head, to listen and not to speak, to understand without joy, to love and to marvel. They tell the child to discover the world already there. And of the 100, they steal 99. They tell the child that work and play, reality and fantasy, science and imagination, sky and earth, reason and dream are things that do not belong together. And thus they tell the child that the 100 is not there. The child says, no way, the 100 is there. The choice is yours. Thank you very much indeed for listening, participating, joining in, and thank you, Miguel, for being a wonderful moderator who's also a good sport and a very kind, helpful person. If you would like to join my website, the address is there, www.eltsusanhillyard.com. Thank you very much indeed.
Susan, thank you so very much to you. I mean, comments were like coming and going, honestly, so I couldn't read them all, but at least we were interacting with some of the people in your audience, because it was a large number of people here, right? Almost 100 people watching.
Oh,
so I loved that. I absolutely loved that. But I just would like to make some other, to read some other comments, right?
Yeah.
If you give me the chance, or let me just go to the chat box so I can reach them. All right. Okay. Some of you congratulate you. All right. They thank you for this talk. They loved your presentation. Big rounds of applause from people sending emoticons. They say, Ana Cecilia Acolsi, that she loves your passion, right? A beautiful beautiful, enriching conference. This is by Hildardo.
Thank
But
you.
well, basically, thank you messages, right? Thank you
Okay, any
messages.
questions? Because we have
Um,
7 minutes.
well, we got, yeah, kind of 7 minutes or 5 minutes to close the session. So maybe we can take some time to wait for questions, because
Yeah,
basically messages are thank you messages, and they are congratulating you for your talk.
thank you.
I
And I'm very,
totally adored it, Susan.
oh, thank you.
It was
I'm
really,
very,
really nice.
very willing to answer any questions because I'm sure they have questions.
Yeah, let's wait for them, because well, here comes one. Ruby Esmeralda Ramirez asks, how can I improve my creativity? I think it's a big question, right? Because us as teachers sometimes are aware of this need of students. I mean, they need creativity, but if we are not
Yeah.
that creative, how can we improve that, Susan?
This is the first thing that I always say to my teachers. I have several webinars and a very intensive course actually on my creativity hub. And I train the teachers to do lots and lots of exercises, like the ones we've done today, but even more complicated, so that they develop their creative juices. And what happens in the end is that they begin to make a click. I always talk about the click because at first you start doing it and you think, oh, I'm not creative. I wasn't born creative. It's not for me. I can't do it. And then as you see that there are ways into doing it by doing lots and lots of creative exercises, then you begin to change. Your heart changes, your mind changes, your soul changes, everything changes, and you begin to see creativity everywhere. And you begin to see ways of doing what I always tell my teachers: keep the text. If you've got to use a course book, for example, change the task. So instead of doing those boring gap filling exercises, which are supposed to be about learning, then start doing creative thinking, and then the students will learn. And for me, it has always worked for me. It doesn't matter what nationality, what religion, what country I'm teaching in, it always works. But you have to start somewhere. It's a great question. And I can advise you to start looking on internet or get in touch with me, and you will find lots of ways of changing your own thinking. Just as we
Definitely.
did the box problem, and I taught you, you have to get out of the box. This is the first thing we have to do. We have to stop thinking in traditional ways because our brain is used to doing that, and that's what it wants to do. That's the comfort zone.
Thank you so very much, Susan. I think, yeah, we as teachers are always concerned about how can we implement this. But as you said, it's not something that is going to be out of a sudden. We got to do it little by little, right? And if
Process.
we constantly practice with our students, we also become creative with them,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Well, most of the comments are congratulation messages, right? And well, there's one I would like to read, Susan. Eduardo Escalona Pardo says, thanks a lot for this talk. To develop students' creativity is one of our main goals. At the same time, the exercises shown also are helpful to develop vocabulary and, of course, speaking skills, which is
Of course.
also
Yeah,
important, right?
absolutely. And Mr. Pardo is from Cuba.
Oh my God, interesting. You see,
Yeah,
very interesting.
we met yesterday in one of the networking
The
rooms.
networking. Oh, super interesting. You see, so we are creating a big community.
Yeah,
Well,
fantastic.
Susan, well, I think, well, time is always the biggest enemy we have here.
I know.
So I just want to thank you for your great, great talk today. I also learned a lot, and be sure I'm going to implement some of your suggestions with my students and in my classes.
Thank you. And
All
thank
right.
you all for attending. and I hope to hear from you. And I send you a big mwah from Argentina.
And a big round of applause for you. All right.
And a big
From
round of applause for you all as
yeah,
well.
thank you so very much. Well,
Bye bye.
finally, see you then. I would like to make some announcements. So, okay, guys, don't you forget about following us on Twitter and Cambridge to help to build the community by sharing your experience. Okay. Have your say during the event using the handle at MXBritish on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget the hashtag BBELT 2022. And also, as we are trying constantly to improve the quality of the work we do, and we place great importance on the views of the people we work with, please help us with your feedback by answering the quality questionnaire that you can find in the lobby. Your responses will be treated anonymously, and the questionnaire respondents will participate in the raffle at the end of the event. So wait for big surprise. And well, we will be waiting for you for the next exhibition. We've got a chat, remember? And then we've got posters as well today. And the last talk, are all the women, where are all the women at? By Ana Velasco here in room 10. So don't forget to join us and see you around here at BBELT. See you, Susan. It was my pleasure. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Bye bye.